buy nothing. And I repeat, multiple of nothing until you buy the sample.
Rinse and repeat, or, you know, right. Trash an idea and start a new one, or... Yo, what's good? It's your boy Doc.
It's your girl Kaylin. Welcome to the Neo-Nami channel. We appreciate you guys for clicking on our video. We do brand consulting, and we also DTG, screen printing, embroidery for other brands. We do a lot of things in the clothing realm. Okay,
we do brand consulting.
We do brand consulting, but we do also things we have more hands-on with: DTG, screen printing, embroidery, etc. But we help other brands as well. Really dope. But today we're gonna be dropping some gems, some life lessons we've learned in this industry for the past 8 years, and I feel like it's something that we need to talk about, because baby, especially if you're starting a brand, we do too much. Okay, that's just the truth, that we do a little too much, and that's okay. You gotta learn.
So y'all are anything like us when we were first getting started out, we're probably looking for all the answers to all your questions, and it could be very overwhelming. Start with 5 things that you don't want to do when you're just starting out.
Just take it from us, okay? Too much money spent, too much money wasted, no L's but lessons learned, okay? So we went through it so you guys don't have to, right? We've heard it time and time again, okay? We speaking from experience, literally. Don't do it. So 5 things you guys don't want to do when you're starting a clothing brand, okay?
5 things.
Interesting. We're gonna speak from experience here, but number 1, for sure, don't buy too much at one time. Don't focus on quality over quantity, okay?
You said don't focus on quality over quantity?
Focus on quality over quantity. Do not buy too much in the beginning. You don't want to buy too many of something and you don't even know what it look like, okay? You want to order things and see how it looks first. See if it fits right, if it's the right cut. It's always better to order samples. And then also, for my people that's starting on a budget, that are independent and don't have a lot of funding behind you, because that was us.
So yeah, like when you first starting off, definitely want to make sure that you're paying attention to your samples. Like, your sample pieces are very, very important. And we've made the mistake before in the past where we would get a sample and the sample might not be 100% the way it needs to be, and then we would place a bulk order. Or there were even times where I didn't get a sample and Kaylin was telling me, hey, make sure you're getting a sample, make sure you're getting a sample. It was some socks, and I ended up purchasing the jackets too. Yeah, I ended up purchasing like 100 pieces in the socks, 100 pairs, and like 50 jackets or something like that. And it wasn't that it was like totally trash. It was just that if we would have spent a little bit more time on purchasing samples and, you know, configuring things and making things a little bit better piece by piece, you know, the details would have been a lot better.
Yeah, or like with the sweatsuits, like we bought too many in the beginning, I felt like, and now we were stuck with selling them. And if you don't have the audience to sell you guys, and you're starting from scratch and you don't have a big audience, right? You don't want to buy way too much, y'all. Way too much. And then you stuck with inventory that you are stressing to sell, okay? And I like what Myron said, commission breath, salesman's breath, like you're desperate to sell the pieces. And you don't even want to come from that direction. You want to know, like, as we all know, your stuff is fire, bro. You got to stand in that 10 toes down and know that, you know, whether the people that's gonna buy is gonna buy. It's not so much of a pressure to get it off of me because I spent all this money. I think we spent over tens of thousands of dollars, y'all, literally. Didn't even know, like, and it's crazy to even say that now, because it's like, why would we do that? But figuring out buying too much of something that we didn't need, we could have just bought the sample. First of all, perfect the sample first, make sure it fits right, and take that and pre-order. You know what I'm saying? And people can wait on the stuff, because your stuff is hard. They're gonna wait on it. They're gonna say, yeah, I want to order that. I need that on my body now. I need to be dripped out, like, you know. So I think having that type of confidence and knowing, like, okay, my stuff hard, it's gonna sell either way, so I could do pre-sale. Because I know people kind of feel a little iffy about pre-sale, but that's the way to do it, baby. Like,
pre-orders,
pre-sale, pre-orders, yeah. Like, I feel like a lot of people sometimes feel a little intimidated by that, and it's like, well, if I don't have it right now, they're not going to buy it. That's not true. If you know your stuff is tough, bro, like, okay, they're going to buy it. Case in point, a piece of our jacket, I'm going to put examples on the screen, but like our motorcycle jacket that's cowhide, it's hard for us to source it, so we definitely not gonna buy that in bulk, right? Or like even like our jerseys, and I'm gonna post a couple of clips up there so you can see us in it, but those are pre-orders, and people will actually order those because it's just those pieces are tough, they're hard, you know what I'm saying? You have to be confident in your art and your creativity and in your pieces and the love that you put into it, and know that somebody's going to buy it. So I wouldn't even waste time navigating or wasting money on buying a whole bunch of something when you don't have a lot of people to sell to something to. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your pockets. Don't do it to your set of mind, because it also tricks your mind though. Like when we got the sweatsuits, they did sell and they hard even now, but it's like also some things we would have changed, like the bottom of the pants, and that was our second round of those too. That was our second round of those.
Yeah.
That wasn't our first. So the first one, so we kind of got ahead of ourselves, and it kind of messed with us when they weren't selling like that. And it's not even that. It's just there's always a season to buy certain things, right? So, you just have to take it as it go. I think if we would have just bought one of each color and just place the orders as they come, that way it would have been a lot less stressful, I would say, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like when it comes to your sample piece, you have to really, really, really find out what it is that you want your brand to stand for, and like what specific things you want in your sample piece.
Mm-hmm.
And every sample piece isn't going to be a good one. Every idea isn't going to be a good one. So it's okay to, rinse and repeat, or, trash an idea and start a new one, or, set an idea to the side and start a new one. Right. Don't be afraid to do that with your samples, because there are going to be times where it's just not a good idea, or it just doesn't come out right.
Do not create a brand that you cannot grow with. When saying that, it's kind of saying, don't create a brand that you feel like you can't have an audience to connect to. You haven't done any research, really put some thought into your actual brand and who it could connect with and who your consumers would be, right? I think you want to take more time on thinking about the importance of the brand and how can I grow with the brand, and really challenge the idea of throwing everything to the wall idea like that. So let's try to get rid of that and really just hone in and be very intentional with our actual brand. So what does the name mean? Can I see myself with this brand 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Can I see myself growing with this brand? Does my audience connect to it? Who is my audience? Who is my audience that I want to really target? Is it relatable? Can a brand actually grow past one shirt or one hoodie or one sweatsuit or one vest or one jacket? Is my brand bigger than just that? Can I grow with it? I think that's some things that we learned too along the lines. We have had previous brands, although Honor was a great brand, but I'm necessarily talking about Exit, which was a decent brand too, but these are our previous brands. Exit more say like it's one that I felt like the meaning was okay, but it was only gonna stop at the graphic tees. Like, could I see that going any further? And there was no really connection to that, and I wasn't really being super intentional, because if somebody says exit, like, what does that even mean? You're exiting the door? You're always leaving? I think that was like a thought that I used to have, or I should have had back then.
I like the Exit.
I do, and I liked Exit. It was different.
But I do think that's very important that people look into the name.
Yeah.
Like, just with the name, it can tell you a lot about how far a brand is going to be able to go. I feel like when you use trending names or like trending statements like get a bag or money chasers or something like that, I don't know.
No offense to somebody's brand.
Yeah, like no offense, but these are, I think if you know what your intentions are from the beginning, then it really says a lot about what it is that you're doing. Like, if you just want a quick money grab, then I think doing something trendy is a good idea. Like, if you just want to make money really quick. But if you want a brand that's going to carry longevity and like be unique in the market, I feel like you should definitely be creative with the name and don't make it too long to where people can't remember it. Make it a couple syllables or maybe like one syllable. Like Google, for instance, the name Google, it speaks volumes. And
or
it goes
Amazon.
So far. Amazon, it speaks volumes and it goes so far. Like,
or Off-White.
even when you think of like Louis Vuitton or Chanel, like those are names, but those types of brand names, I feel like they go so far because you can really do a lot around it.
Right.
It's not tied to any specific thing outside of what it is that you want your brand to stand for. So, for instance, with our brand, Neo-Nami, I feel like with that name, you can do anything. If we wanted to make furniture, we can make furniture.
Right.
If we wanted to make clothes, we can make clothes. Like, it's not just stuck to one thing, just like when you think of IKEA.
Right.
Like IKEA has
so many variations, or Target.
Yeah,
it could be
Target.
It's so many things that could be under that. It's not so I'm just married to this one idea and it's just good for now. I think when you think about a brand, and this is just us. Can I speak for us, babe? When we think about our brand, where do we want to see our brand, and is it something that we are able to pass down for generations? And when I think about brands like that, like you said, a Louis Vuitton or a Gucci, or even though Gucci's a public brand, but it started out as a family and it was generational. What else? Chanel, things like that. If I think about those brands, is my brand going to be able to be carried inside of a Saks? Or is it going to be able to be carried into established household store? Can it reach the masses, or is it just this particular point of time for this particular crowd at this point in time? I want, just me personally, for our brand, I always thought about it as, I want to see ourselves branching out, not only just to reach the masses, but like you said, we could do furniture if we wanted to. If we want to do Neo-Nami a car, we can make it a car. Shoot, we could do anything with it. And also the mantra behind it too, like what does it actually stand for? The brand, our mantra is just keep swimming. Neo-Nami means new wave. So you kind of see how that kind of connects. It's surrounded or connected by water. Most importantly, the mantra of just keep swimming, new wave. Don't worry about the past or worry about where you're from or where you came from. It's about where you're going. And don't be scared to ride something new and try something new. And then also just keep swimming no matter how tough the current gets. You keep paddling that boat, baby, or you keep swimming. Keep kicking them feet, okay? It's going to get better. So that's our whole thought process by it. And we want people to really think and take something. I think a lot of good buys when people are buying clothes, it's good when it's an emotional buy. That's what I think. I think it's good when it's somebody can actually connect and feel something like, this made me feel like this. I bought this because of this. Same things like when I think about God is Dope. It's a good brand, right? It's something that I could connect with. It's emotional. So, because God is dope,
Those are all really
good brands, yeah.
Good examples. I'll say like just have a clear vision on the identity that you want to create around your brand, like that your brand is made for, like who's gonna be wearing this brand,
right?
And I think once you can identify that, it's gonna be a lot easier to determine what it is that you're making as well in your designs, and you're gonna be able to stay like on topic.
And like even when you're designing something, you can look at it like this: does this align with my actual brand? Does this make sense? Can I connect this to this? And I think we went through that too. That was my fault though, because I wasn't listening. I was being hard headed. But he tried to tell me I was just buying things that didn't even connect with the brand. It doesn't make sense. So when people saw Neo-Nami, they really couldn't say what it was. I don't know. What's the thing that we learned the other night? What it's known for. Like when you see Chanel, you know Chanel for the pearls, the tweed jackets.
Oh, the house codes.
Your house codes, right? Okay, that's a key gem right there. Gem of the day. Remember, know your house codes, right? So, and I'm using this example. Or like I said, Chanel, tweed jackets, all that, the pearls. When Gucci.
With Gucci with the red and green stripes. Like, with the red and green ribbon or whatever that is.
You know what I'm saying? They have a thing where you know that's Gucci, even if it doesn't have a name on it. You can tell that that's Gucci. Or Louis Vuitton, they're known for their trunks and, you know,
they have
LV,
like
the monograms.
Yeah, the monograms and things like that. The browns.
Checker boxes, you know that's Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton. Saying it wrong. And you can use that as guidelines, or you can find a brand that really inspires you and then say, okay, now I don't want to copy them, but they do inspire me. So look at the things that they've done and what made them so successful. Honey, what am I trying to say? Successful. What had them be iconic for generations and generations and generations, for decades? What is that thing? And how can I incorporate that into my own brand? What are my, what did you say? House codes. Perfect.
Yeah.
The number 2, you guys. Do not start with a run of clothes, you guys. Do not start with a whole bunch of stuff that you got to get off of you when you don't have nobody to sell it to.
You don't need to start off with like an entire collection. You can start with one piece at a time, or, you know, just keep coming up with ideas until you find that one idea that you feel like really represents your brand and is really like that one piece that everybody's gonna be like, yo, I need that.
Right.
And I think once you figure that part out and you start with that and sell that one product, over time you can expand and, you know, create new products and, you know, expand on that. Because when you start off with, you know, when you start off wanting to do an entire collection, you're spending way more money on samples, and then, you know,
or just the whole thing in general.
Yeah.
Like buying a whole order, a whole run of clothes. What?
And you may not have built your entire structure, like the foundation of your brand. So what's going to happen is, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just you don't have to do it at the cost and the expense of your, you know, your pocket. So basically,
that part.
If you start with that one thing, over time you're going to grow and expand. Those pieces are going to all speak together, and they're gonna be like cohesive.
You can tell somebody's put time and effort into their product just by the quality of it, and it's well thought out. It's not just pieced together. I think it's a certain level of love put into it, intentional, a certain level of attention done to it, versus you just going off the sample and thinking they send you a picture of the sample, and then when it get here you bought a whole run of it and it's a mess.
Right.
It wasn't really thought out. It wasn't really It's not lining. We're going back to the first thing. Like, is it lining up with my brand and what my brand stands for?
Yeah.
That's not.
And you don't want to confuse people either.
Right.
Like, you want to make it very known what it is that your brand is, who you are, who your brand is, what it stands for, who the brand is for.
Right.
Also, another thing, when you have 100 different colors in one item, that's not a good idea. Like, if anything, I would say find maybe 1 or 2 colorways that you want to do, maybe even 3.
Exactly.
When you give too many options on colors and things like that,
it's hard for people to buy.
Yeah, it just makes the decision harder for someone to just, you know, hit that buy button. So, you know, starting off, keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid. Sorry, that's not nice. But it's true. Another keynote, right?
Oh.
So focus on a minimum viable product, aka MVP. And that is a single high quality item, right? Focus on your MVP. What is that single item that I perfect to a T? You can't tell me nothing about this right here. I know this like the back of my hand, okay? It's high quality. I put a lot of effort and love into it, and that's the piece that you focus on. You build off of that. And there was a lot of good examples. You got to think about brands that started out with 1 or 2 things. You got Louis Vuitton that just started out with trunks, right? Vice versa. Everybody starts from somewhere. Now Louis Vuitton has a plethora of different designs and different cultures. So we got this from our girl. I'm going to pop her name up too. She's a good person to watch on YouTube. I always like to shout people out that we get our information from. But she made a good point. Like old names or big names that we know in the fashion industry that a lot of people look up in the luxury fashion industry. To take note from them, if you look into the history of them, they didn't start out with tens of hundreds of different, you know, ideas. Same thing with Nike. Started out with 1 shoe, didn't it? 1 sneaker. Everybody starts out from 1. So make that perfect 1, right? The MVP. I repeat, for the people in the back, focus on the MVP, you guys. That is the one that you want to perfect, put love into, really love on it, okay? Show some love and really nurture it. And then that's the piece that you can expand off of. Definitely. And we learned that the hard way. We were doing too much.
Yeah, don't be like us.
And nobody knew nothing, and ultimately it turned people off from buying, right? And that's what we don't want.
Yeah, it's just too much going on.
Too much. It's too confusing. Do not fall in love with your first design. Babe, I'm gonna let you go on this one. Cause I got some stories, but go ahead.
I mean, I don't have a lot of first designs that I fall in love with, because I'm the type that, like, after I'm done with the first iteration of it, I want to continue to expand on it and make it better and better and better until I feel like there's nothing left that needs to be done. Mm-hmm. But yeah, don't fall in love with your first design. Like, allow yourself room to grow, even within that first design. Like, let people see it, get a response from the product, try it on yourself, compare it to some of your favorite pieces in your room.
Right.
Like, compare it to things that you love about other pieces and actually see, like, the fabric, how does it feel? How does it lay on your body? Right. Like, actually study what you've done and enhance it, make it better. And, you know, it's going to turn out that the love that you put into it is definitely going to show, and it's going to speak for itself, and people are going to like what you've made because you put your time into it.
Right. But I love that, because don't set the floor so quick. You got your floor and you got your ceiling, you know, and you don't want your floor to be the first idea that you had. You want it to be something that you really marinated on, and you can grow from that. And it took us a minute to get to our floor piece, which is our cowhide leather motorcycle jacket. That's like our creme de la creme. That is my baby. Okay, when I look at it all the time, I'm mesmerized, because this is where we grow from right here. We're past and there's nothing wrong, don't get me wrong, it's nothing wrong with t-shirts and hoodies, and I love a good t-shirt hoodie girl myself. I'm a streetwear girl through and through. But it's nothing like getting your cut and sewn piece, and it's straight from scratch, and it's, you know, just be okay with growing and going through the motions and learning, because you got to fall in love with the process. I think we should debunk the myth of, like, perfect first draft and thinking about, like, oh, okay, well, this is it. I drew this one design in Procreate, and now I'm ready to go, baby. I'm off the hook. That's it. And then when you actually get the design, the process of getting the design made and in physical form, getting it back to you, and you putting it on your body, you be like, I don't even like this like that. I could have did this a little bit different if I would have just took my time and kept letting my mind create. I think we shouldn't put limitation on your creativity, because your creativity is what stands out from others. What is the difference between this shirt, that hoodie, those sweatpants, those jeans, this, that, and the third? Is your creativity, is your mind. It's only one of your mind. It's only you. So don't limit yourself just by the first thing that pops out your head that you probably collaborated with the things that you already love, which is a good thing to do. Don't get me wrong. But you could have grown off of that if you'd have just given yourself some time to produce something even bigger and better, or something that you sat with and thought about and nurtured. And I think
and I'll say, like, a good technique that you could use to really, like, refine your design and actually make it better and better will be, like, as you're making your designs in Procreate or Adobe Illustrator or whatever it is that you use, print it out, put it up on the wall, or put it up on, like, a vision board or something. As you continue to elaborate more on those designs, take notes, you know what I'm saying? Write down certain things like the fabric, the GSM, different things, like whether you want the stitching to be a certain color, you know, things like that. So then as you're progressing with the design, when it comes time for you to make a sample, you know exactly what you want.
I love that. Exactly.
Or at least, not if it's not exactly what you want, it's close to
what you want,
what it is that you're looking to do,
and how you want it to feel, how you want it to look on your body. I think we do a good thing of, like, getting our samples in our sizes. That's what we do. We get our samples.
We like to wear them.
We don't like to sell anything that we don't absolutely love anyways. If I'm not going to wear it, I don't want to sell it. You're not going to catch me in it if I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna rock it.
Right.
So it's good. That's another tip. Get it in your size, really live in it. And like sometimes when we wear stuff, like, you know what, I think we can fix the sleeves a little bit better. Same thing with a jacket. We'd never known that if we didn't keep wearing it and operating in it. Because when you're maneuvering, you gotta think about a regular person is operating like you. They're going to the store, they're picking up this, they're doing that, they're going out to eat, and they're maneuvering in the clothing and don't even know if it falls right, fits right. Can I actually pick up a fork? Can I move? Can I tussle in it? You don't know. You don't even know what you can do in it. Can I get busy in it? You know what I'm saying? You don't know. You know, can I jug in it? You don't know until you actually wear the product. So that's another tip. Just get your samples in your actual size so you can actually fill out the product. But most importantly, don't start your floor at your first design, baby. You better keep creating and keep pushing out them designs, honey. Yeah.
All right, so number 4 on what not to do. Do not, and I repeat, do not dive headfirst into buying a bulk order. Please.
And I think this goes back to number 2. We keep hitting on this because please don't do it. We wasted too much money. Tens and thousands of dollars.
That is just not the brightest idea. Now, what I would suggest is if you want to start off with a small bulk number, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, you know, if they say
first 15, 10.
Yeah, they say it's 15, 10, 20, like whatever it is, a small bulk order is cool. But it's when, you know, you don't have the established foundation or customer
audience,
base. Yeah. If you haven't established that yet.
Or even storage to store all
right,
that too.
You might not have the storage, but then it's like you have to be able to move 100 pieces before you just spend a bunch of money on 100 pieces. So
right. Is my email list lined up for that? Is my
set yourself up.
Right, my text message marketing set up for that.
Get your SMS together with Postscript, like.
Yeah, all of those things. We're gonna do a video on that too, and I think I'm gonna let Doc take the lead on that, because he handles that on our side. But we can definitely do a video like that, kind of breaking that down to you guys. And if you, like I always say, don't order a bulk order, especially if you haven't got the sample bag. I tell anybody and everybody, do not buy nothing, and I repeat, multiple of nothing, until you buy the sample. I need to see it. I need to feel it. I need to see the zippers. I need to see if there's what the fabric's hitting on, because it can look totally, what it looks like in a video or a picture could be totally different when you get it in person. It could be itchy. It cannot fall right. It could be stiff. It could be, what's the other examples, babe? It could be
it could be a lot.
It could be a lot. I'm only saying this, and I'm so adamant about this because we've done it multiple times, and it just, a light bulb was like, why we keep doing this? We just need to buy one, perfect the sample, and sell off of that, because there's no need. And this ties back into number 2. But yes, again.
And when you're dealing with manufacturers, make sure you asking the right questions. Like,
we're gonna do another video on that too.
Like, every single little detail, you need to make sure you're communicating, and that's why having a tech pack is very, very important when it comes to getting your samples made. Make sure that your designs and your PNG files, make sure they are at the highest level quality that you can send. So then if they need to stretch out your file or your image, it's too small, make sure it doesn't pixelate. Make sure it's not doing all of these weird things so they can actually get the highest quality.
And you be looking mad crazy at your product like, dang, what happened to this? This is not what it looked like, what I thought it was supposed to look like. How many times? That doesn't happen a lot of times, quite a few times, just because you didn't communicate properly. Communication is key, and that's on all forms. And it comes to working with manufacturers, all of those things, communication is key. Circle back. So number 5, and this goes back to the other things we were talking about. Do not neglect the details. Quality is everything, down to every stitch, okay? Because what you're seeing is what your customers are going to see. So whether you have to make a pimp decision and change the manufacturer or whatever, or send it back, get changes, or buy another sample, or like I said, find another manufacturer, because sometimes people don't want to get right, okay? And we don't have time to play with them. When it comes to your design, basically you're advocating not for yourself, but for your customers, baby. For the people that you're serving, for the customers that you're supposed to be serving, okay? That's ultimately going to serve you. So quality control is really important. I don't take that lightly. I know you don't either. And him being a printer, I know he understands what it is to pay attention to detail and really love on somebody else's design, right? So look at it as this. This is your design and you're sending it out to the world, and that is representation of you. So what are people going to say about you when they get you in the mail? That sounds crazy, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
when they get you in the mail, what are they going to say? Are they going to say, wow, this is amazing quality. They really loved it. I love this so much. I'm going to recommend this. Or I love this so much, I'm definitely subscribing because I need to know when the next drop is. I need to know where I can get more of this. Even my clothes I get at wherever I shop at don't hit like this. It's a different level of love. And that is the good part of you being a smaller brand. You have the ability to be more on hands and have more control over the quality. And that's where it speaks volumes compared to other things, right?
Yeah.
And I think quality and just having quality control really separates you from the mediocre to the luxury. Talk about it. I ain't trying to give no shade but shades, but...
Yeah. And a lot of people, they just want to jump into having a luxury brand, and we'll probably talk more on that because it's definitely an acquired skill. You don't just jump into this making luxury pieces unless you are a seasoned person when it comes to fashion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like even if you have really good fashion taste, when it comes to creating, you might not be on a level to design a luxury product. Just because you know how to buy a luxury product doesn't necessarily mean you know how to make one. So I think that's something that's very important. But the closer you can get to really looking into details and, understanding your fabrics and understanding, certain things about design and graphic design and what types of prints look better on what types of fabrics. Like, there are certain things that I would not do direct to garment printing on, and there are certain things that I would prefer to see screen print on, so.
Or embroidery.
It just all depends on what I'm doing. And, you can get mixy with it and do different things that stand out, but for the most part you want to be aware of these things so you're not putting two fabrics together that just don't work or they don't function properly
or even
together.
The print doesn't look well necessarily with the actual shirt. Like if I was to put DTG on a 3-button polo that they wear at school or they golf in, it'd probably been better if I just did a embroidery patch. Vice versa, screen printing
a patch
on, you know what I'm saying, or on a screen printing,
or even DTF or something.
Yeah, something else. Like you want to do the right things on the right things, so you really have to do your homework. That's why I said do your due diligence and really nurture the actual thing that you're doing. And I think that only comes with trial and error, but this is why we here, because we're going to give you gems of what you don't need to do, because we already did it. And don't waste your money, okay? Time or money.
Facts.
No facts. If you guys watched it in this video, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with us, of course. We're going to do more of these. Go ahead and drop down below some of the brands you're working on or your brand. Let's build this community where we support each other. Go ahead and drop down some things that you did learn or some other tips and tricks that you may have that can help all of us. And yeah, I just want to encourage you guys to stay at it. Us as small clothing brands, it is room for all of us to share our creativity. And if this is your calling and you love to design and you want to, or if you want to start a brand, do that and put love into it, and of course God into it, but put love into what you do. Always fight for your creativity. Don't put yourself in a box. I hate the word oversaturated. I've heard a couple of other designers or people that want to start brands say that it's oversaturated. It's not such thing, because you're the only person, and this is what Uncle Myron said, but you're the only person that's had your experience, your thoughts, your design, your ideas for a brand, and we deserve to see your brands and your creativity. We deserve to wear your clothes, honey. So I hate the word oversaturated. Don't think about that, because it's always a lane for you. I don't care if it's 1,000,000 and 1,000,000,001 people making hoodies and sweatshirts or cut and sew or tailor suits or whatever, wedding dresses.
And people think it's oversaturated is because they see a lot of people not being unique and coming up with like
Exactly.
you know, different design ideas. Like everyone is doing the same thing. So, you know, when people start figuring out what it is that they can bring to the market that is different and that's gonna stand out and have its own ring to it, then, you know,
that's where we'll see the oohs and the ahs. Tap into your creativity. God put us here to create, you guys, so do that, okay? Don't do this disjustice. I didn't even say that right, but yeah, don't do yourself a disjustice, honey, and just create. You don't have to think like everybody else, not whatsoever. Be yourself. Hone in on that. What makes you unique? I love that. If you guys have any questions too or any video suggestions, please leave that down below. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys, and we see you in our next one. Bye.